I will be taking over the webinar today. This is Naveen Prithiani. I'm the analyst for urbanforex.com, forexwatchers.com, and the CEO of Black Tower Investments. Since we are talking about price action today, and I am taking over the webinar last minute, any requests on what you guys want to learn in terms of price action? I know a lot of you guys are longtime followers of mine on urbanforex.com or members of mine from forexwatchers.com. Any preference, any request, and we can make this a on-demand webinar for you guys. Okay, John Dwight says trading without indicators. Andred says pro strategy. Okay, let's do this. Why don't we discuss the current live market based on price action? Okay. Okay, we have some questions on exhaustion candles, legit and illegit. Sardar Udin is saying advanced pro trading strategy, reversal and continuation. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some tips today that actually I discussed in my conference room with my members. How many of you guys that are attending today are actually my interns from urbanforex.com? Okay, 1, 2, intermediate, 3, 4. Okay, so we got several of you guys who are my interns. And how many of you guys are actually part of the conference room from forexwatchers.com or members of my forecasting? Not yet, not yet. Me. Okay, great. Okay, so we have a good mixture of people that are already with me. And how many of you guys are new, have never heard of me before, and are just have just come in today? And okay, so it looks like we have some people from there. Okay, now I'm gonna teach a technique here. We can't be discussing pro techniques and everything quite yet, as we have a lot of new people in here who have not learned any of my strategies before or are not members of any of my websites. But what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys a trick today, a little technique that will save your trade. Okay, and we're going to do all of this with price action and a pivot point. We're not going to discuss exhaustion candles or any of that stuff. I'm going to teach you guys something that none of you guys have heard before, except conference room members from forexwatchers.com. We've actually gone through this stuff today. So let's get into this detail and forget the past. We're going to discuss the current market. Okay, let's get into it head on. All right, now if there's any questions, let me know live. I will stop, I will discuss it. I'm gonna make this interactive. I'm gonna call out names and I'm gonna have you guys interact with this. Okay, so this is a learning webinar, and I will also record this. It is actually being recorded, and it will be available on YouTube and Urban Forex in due time. So there we go. Now this candle right here, let me move this shut screen here. Boom, there we go. Looking at Euro USD right now on the 1 hour time frame. I always trade the 1 hour time frame because it gives us enough time to filter out stuff. We have an hour for this webinar. I'm not going to go into much details, but I am going to discuss particular stuff in terms of currency pairs. Now, for those of you who are new, I look at 7 currency pairs that correlate with each other. Correlation basically means it's a relation that one currency pair has with another. Okay, in the forex market, if you're just trading one pair, it's useless. It's useless. You will never get through with it. You have to look at the market as a whole. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys first, to begin with, I'm going to give you guys the 7 currencies. Ahmed is saying, Naveen, what do you do when you have 2 exhaustion candles opposite to each other? Okay, that's an advanced question. We'll discuss that later. Abby is saying, Naveen, are you still there? It seems I have lost you. Can everyone still hear me and see my screen? Yes. Okay. Let me turn off the beeps. It'll drive me crazy. Just a moment here. Okay, the beeps are off. Okay, we got a really large attendance here today. We got like 74 people in the room here. So, okay, let's moving on. Let's go back to our charts and we'll continue from there. All right, now Euro USD. Let me show you guys a little technique. I'm gonna show you guys how you can actually predict the market. You know, I'm talking about a prediction to a level where you know what's going to happen, not just in the upcoming hour, but in the next 2, 3, 4 hours. Okay, you can actually start drawing what the market's going to do. Okay, this is a little bit similar to how I do my forecasting, and I'm actually releasing this information, and I actually charge for this, but because I have a service about this. But I'm going to release this information because it's caught me at the wrong time, and Mr. George is not here today, and I want to give you guys something useful, that you guys are here and it's worth your while. Okay, here we go. Euro USD. This particular candle that we see, okay, it's a sharp candle. It came all the way down, gave us a large tail right here, and also a large body. A body is the filled area, the red thing that you see. A tail is that skinny long stick that comes out. I call it a tail. Okay, the correct terminology is a wick, okay, but let's call it tail for the rest of the evening. Now, this particular pattern that we're looking at is what we call a continuation pattern. This means the market went flying down and it pushed back up, but there is a lot of strength still to go down. A tail will always tell you a story. The tail will tell you what the market is trying to do, okay? How much pressure there is, how much movement there is. Every candle in the market is an indication. The only difference is that where the candle is located is what makes the difference. Okay, so this particular candle gives us an indication that the market is going to continue going down short. Okay, there is strength to go short. The next candle opens up right here. This is the opening of the next candle. Okay, what it does is it moves down a little bit, probably hovers all the way back up, bounces off of its nearest resistance. Okay, once you break through a support line, it then becomes resistance. Okay, so consider these lines that are drawn on my screen. These are pivot points, but consider them as walls. These walls try to hold the market in. Okay, look at them as walls. So this wall traps the market and pushes the market back down. This right here is what we call an upside down exhaustion. Okay, what it means is that you have the body on one side of the candle and you have this large tail on the other side. Okay, if I put my arrow on the body, you get an idea which way the market is heading. So what do we have now here? First thing first, we have a pattern here that tells us the market's going to continue. The next candle opens up. It's going north, okay? It's going north. The average person freaks out, saying, oh, the market's turning around, the market's turning around. No, it's not turning around. What it's actually doing, it's doing its retracement, okay? You have a position short that you've taken here at the open of the next candle. How do you know what is the right spot to wait for? Do you put in your stops based on recent high, recent low? Do you put in your stops saying that, oh, 20 pips is good, so I'm going to put in 20 pips? Or do you actually analyze, if the market goes against me, how far will it go? Okay, that is a question you need to ask yourself. So in this particular case, the market goes up all the way till here, bounces off, comes back down and closes here, giving you a trend continuation pattern again, yet once again. Next candle opens up, current candle getting ready to drop. Now, everyone understood this so far? Can I get a yes or a no? Everyone understanding this so far? Okay, yes, 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 yes. Okay, tons of yeses. Okay, here we go. Now, moving, Shaw, repeat. Shaw, this is recorded, don't worry. And I have several other webinars that talk about this kind of stuff. It's called Pro Trading Strategy. It's on youtube.com. Okay, now, these two candles are related to each other and they tell you the market's going to go short. So you short, okay? You're obviously holding on to short. And now you're obviously making pips. But that's Euro USD. Okay, put Euro USD aside. You've taken a look at it already. Okay, let me write this stuff down for you guys so you guys can see this. Okay, I trade 7 pairs: Euro USD, Pound Dollar, Aussie Dollar, New Zealand Dollar, Euro Yen, and US Dollar CAD, US Dollar Swiss Franc. These pairs that I wrote on top, they move together. These pairs that I wrote on bottom, they move in the opposite direction. I'm not going to get into details of correlation and how to find it, this and that. Just believe me on this one and just go with the information. There's not much time for me to explain this. So these pairs on top, they go together. So let's take a look at the other correlating pairs, such as Pound Dollar, Aussie Dollar, New Zealand Dollar, and Euro Yen. Let's see what they had to say in these last few hours. Pound. Okay, Pound here. Now, remember that pattern I told you, an exhaustion, this thing here. This is an upside down exhaustion. When you actually have the exhaustion the right way, which comes, let me show you if I can find you an example. When you have an exhaustion in the correct way, which is like this, it gives you an indication that the market is going to reverse. But if it's in the direction, because if you take the arrow, you put it on the body, you know which way the market's going. But if this is upside down, it's a trend continuation pattern. It means for example, like this one, the live one that we're looking at, it's basically saying it tried to go up, but it couldn't. There is so much pressure still pushing it down. Okay? In other words, trend continuation. The market will continue to fall. So, let's take a look at Pound. Pound had this pattern here. Not really an exhaustion. Not really an exhaustion. Take a look at this body here. This body did not end up closing a little bit tighter. If this body ended up closing a little bit tighter in the previous candle, we'd have a situation. The market would turn around. What happens? Opening of the next candle opens up. Okay? You are assuming the market is going to continue short at least till the next line here. It doesn't. It goes north. Okay, it's going north. You're freaking out. How far will it go? Does the market ever go 500 pips against you? No. Whatever the market does, there's always a reason. And there's always a distance where it can go to. And there's always a turnaround from there. So, take a look at this. Market moves up. Does not go to your current day's pivot line, but it goes to your yesterday's pivot line. Okay, your yesterday's wall, like we said. And let me draw that here. Boom, it bounces off of there, comes back down, and creates this upside down exhaustion, taking the next candle all the way down into your profit zone. Okay, so again, we understood this part. Okay, Euro USD says short. Pound is saying short still. Okay, let's take a look at Aussie dollar. Now, on Aussie dollar, we had a perfect exhaustion here. This is an exhaustion. Remember this exhaustion that I was telling you about? That's giving you an indication for a reversal. That's what happens. The exhaustion tells you that the market is going to reverse. Opening of the next candle, the market didn't actually go too high, too long. It actually came back down, closed, and gave us another exhaustion, taking the market down. Very confusing, right? You don't know what's going on Aussie dollar. So on Aussie dollar, I'm going to put confusion, mess, headache. Okay, I'm going to put all the words that you can possibly call this. I'm not going to swear, but I'm going to put all the words that you would possibly look at this. If you were trading this pair, this is all you would say. Because the trade would not end up going in your favor, even though everything is aligned correctly.